think it still is. I do apologise. Okay, so tonight we are really excited. We've got Fiona here with us, and I'm going to be interviewing Fiona. So how are you, Fiona? You've had a busy day today, I know, because you had Hayward Village live and you had a guest as well. How was it?
Oh, it was really good. I love it because we just get to have a bit of a chat on the screen. It's best, obviously it'd be nicer face to face, but it is really good fun. So yeah, it's been a busy day, but I'm really glad to be here having a chat with you. Yeah.
Oh, that's fabulous, because you've been online a lot. It's hard, isn't it?
It can be tiring.
Another half an hour, if that's okay.
I got my glass of wine lined up ready for afterwards, so that's good.
Yeah.
TV. I'm watching a series with Iris later.
Oh, excellent, excellent. Well, I did ask for one, but maybe later. So anyway, Fiona, each month we've been chatting to different people that we know, or the young people, or who the young people know, and just asking them about their journey into faith. Also where they were at when they were the same age as our young people. And then we've also got some really fun quick fire questions for you at the end. And is that okay?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I can tell you about my faith.
Excellent. So where were you at when you were a young person, and what was life like for you then?
Well, I went to a Church of England primary school. So I did get a bit of background about Jesus and stuff, but I didn't actually believe it was real, because the vicar who used to take the sessions, he talked about it he didn't actually talk about it like a real person. It was more like, this is information and everything. And so I remember just thinking, oh, that's a nice story. And that was as far as it went, really. And so I got all that background knowledge, I suppose, which has been quite interesting throughout my life. But it just didn't seem to be real or like a person you could have a relationship with. And then when I went to secondary school, it wasn't a church school, so there was no connection there at all. And I stopped having anything to do with church. And so God wasn't part of my life at all, not even on the radar. And it was very, very much later, only as an adult at age 40, that I became a Christian. So it's, I had a whole life.
Was your mum going to church back then? Was she? Because I know she comes to Locking Castle now and again. Was she part of a church when you were younger?
No, my parents didn't go to church, but they used to drop me off at Sunday school and then have a bit of free time, I think. I think that was quite common back then, and so I got a bit of background about faith, but they didn't actually go as well, so it wasn't part of my life growing up.
The seeds were planted.
They were, yeah.
Yeah.
It was much, much later that I became a Christian, because I used to do this martial art called Krav Maga, which is an Israeli sort of martial art, and one day we were doing some training, and one of the people who came there, called Dave Gilles, who's actually now the chaplain at Bristol Rovers, or he was recently, and he'd written a book and he had it on the side. He was raising money for charity, and it was about his journey of faith. And I thought, oh, I'll buy one, because that's to raise some money. And I read this book and it made me cry, because it was so emotional, and I couldn't believe it was all about his journey of faith and how he'd been a big, tough sort of football thug, and then he'd turned to God.
Wow.
I read that book and I thought, oh, that's so amazing. And then I read it straight away again, and it made me cry again. And then I just put it on the shelf for a couple of years. And then it was much later, even though that had set that seed, like you say, but a couple of years later, when I became a single parent, but it wasn't through choice, I actually was trying to find a place to go on holiday, and somebody recommended a Christian hotel. And it was at that time that I actually became a Christian, much later. And I had a bit of a Damascus moment on one of those holidays.
Wow.
Amazing.
But this is it. It is amazing, isn't it, to think that, seeds are planted when we're younger for different reasons and in different ways. Yeah. But that seed that gets planted does come out, doesn't it? But we just don't know what age, the whatever age we go through conversion, it doesn't matter. God doesn't mind if we do it when we're 99, but obviously I'm sure he prefers it when we're about 9 or whatever. But yeah.
This holiday, I think it was amazing that the people just accepted me, so they didn't push faith on me, but they were there if I wanted to ask questions. And then when I finally realised I was a Christian and I told everyone that I believed in God, they were just amazing. They were so happy for me, but they, answered all my questions, supported me into finding a church and things. And the first thing I wanted to do was go and buy a Bible. And I bought a book by Jackie Pullinger called Chasing the Dragon, all about sort of mission and outreach. So I think that's what got me started on the sort of thing that I'm doing now, because I just wanted to tell other people about Jesus.
Yeah. And you went to a big church in Bristol for a while, didn't you?
I went to Woodlands.
Yeah.
And it was an amazing place because it was the first time I'd been to a church where it seemed really relevant. Because I was just amazed that there was all these young people there, and there was no dusty hymn books, and it wasn't stuffy and boring. And I just thought, wow, church like this is something I want to get involved with. And it just seemed really authentic and lively and relevant. And so I went there for a while, but then I thought, well, I live in Weston, I really need to meet some people locally. And I prayed about it, and then I met Tom and Mims and went for lunch round at their house and sort of was introduced to Looking Castle Church. But yeah, it was really amazing. And then, as I was saying, when I became a Christian, everything changed for me. There was quite a few different things. My parenting changed, hopefully improved. And like the sorts of music I listened to, the sorts of programs I watched on TV, just all sorts of things changed. But I would say the biggest change when I became a Christian was that when I looked in the mirror, I sort of liked myself for the first time. It was really bizarre. It was sort of accepted myself, and it's just changed every single area of my life, really. And I think that's why I wanted to tell other people. And I think there's no need to force it on people, but I think you've got to give them the information so that they can make their own decision. And
yeah, and for you, it wasn't forced on you. You were given that opportunity, weren't you? That's the best way. And I just, like you, I love it when people ask the questions, and so I'm busy trying to get the knowledge myself that I can ask them. Maybe watching Tom and Andy will inspire us with other opportunities to answer different questions. So
testimonies are really important, because this guy Dave, his testimony inspired me. That was the first step. And then the people on the Christian holiday, their testimonies inspired me. They just seemed to be normal people, and I was like, oh wow, I thought Christians were really boring. I didn't realize.
Yeah.
So it just changed my whole outlook on the whole thing, and been quite a gradual process ever since, really.
Oh, that's amazing. And you got involved in you got quite busy actually when you first joined Locking Castle, if I remember. You did your Alpha, and then you ended up running Alpha.
Yeah. So
I
started off on Alpha down at Woodlands, and then as soon as I came to Locking Castle, I thought it would be really good to do Alpha at Locking Castle, and Tom had just taken over, so I started to be Alpha coordinator, and I started running some quite big Alpha courses, which was brilliant. And then I started to feel called out to Hayward Village a few years later, as soon as it started to be built, and I just felt God calling me out here, and found myself walking the dogs out here all the time, and eventually moved over here as well, and started a new church over here. And I just really excited about gathering people and telling them about Jesus, really.
Wow. So what would you sort of say to our young people that are listening now, or anyone who isn't a Christian who's maybe listening now? How do you hear God? How are you guided by him to do these things? Now, obviously, I know we all have a passion for certain things, and God picks up on that, doesn't he? But how do you hear him? What are there any sort of signs that you just know? I mean, I still can't believe how you got over to Hayward Village. I know there were moments of anxiety, but then moments of, wow, this is a God moment. And
I hear from God. It's thoughts that come into my head, because some people hear an audible voice. I know friends who hear an actual audible voice, Mainly, I have like a thought that keeps coming into my head, and it's not from me. It's like, where did that come from? And it keeps coming back, and it keeps coming back. And I had that with the ordination thing about becoming a vicar and going down the formal training. It just kept coming back into my head, and I kept thinking, oh, what's this all about, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So for me, I definitely have like a thought that comes into my head, and I hear from God because I every morning I sort of have a bit of a routine, because that really helps me. And I start off by reading the Bible every day. I usually use some sort of an app like Bible in 1 year or whatever it might be. And then I pray at the same time every morning, because I just find having that time and giving the first part of my day to God really helps me with the rest of the day going well.
Yeah.
So I do that. And then when I am reading through the Bible passage, I find things sort of stick out to me or point out to me. So that's another way he speaks to me. So maybe 2 years ago when I read a Bible passage, I get one thing out of it, but then when he's speaking to me, it's like a living thing. The Bible changes, and when he's speaking to me through it, other things are highlighted on different days according to what he's trying to tell me on that day. I definitely felt he was calling me to Hayward Village, and it didn't, it just would not go away, and I just couldn't avoid it. It's like a torch, shining a torch in your face, and you just can't get away from it. And I didn't want to either, because obviously he equips you, and he made you so he knows exactly what you need, and he's already thought it all through.
Yeah.
He's thought through the building, he's thought through all the people. He's got it all sorted. So.
Yeah, I love that phrase. It's like a torch shining in your face. I myself felt like I was on this roller coaster, and I couldn't get out or get off or stop it. I couldn't do anything.
It's definitely like that. There's no hiding place. You can hide, but you can't hide forever, because it's just almost like your destiny, really.
Yeah, definitely. That is amazing. And so the future of Hayward Village, where are you going to be going now with it? How long until ordination, and what, you've got so much happening, so much to look forward to.
Well, we moved over here we started the work over here in 2014, and we've done quite a lot so far. We've sort of started the pop-up cafe called Take 5. We've started Rooted, which is like a discipleship group, and we sit around the table and eat and pray and read the Bible, which is our church. And we feel that's quite a relevant church going forward, with the world that we live in at the moment. It works really well. And then we've started doing youth work over here, and we're looking to have an actual building, which we've been given the piece of land for £1 by Persimmon, which is amazing, which is a miracle from God.
Wow.
And we're looking to build that building, and we hope that downstairs will be a community cafe, and upstairs will be worship space and also office space, and for people to do other groups and things like that. So we're sort of in the process of getting the go-ahead from the local diocese, and then we can start the fundraising as well. So we've got a great team over here, which is brilliant. And we've gathered people all the time we've been here, and so it's really starting to grow. But it'd be nice to have a meeting place, because we're meeting in my home and at the school, and that's got its difficulties, obviously, as we grow.
Yeah, a lovely hub where more people can go. And I've met and worked with some guys on your team in the past, and they're all just amazing. And I've recently met some new members of your team on the Parenting for Faith course.
Yeah, they're amazing. And to see the journeys people have come on.
And they're going to be working with the young people as well, aren't they?
Yeah, in the park, And we're hoping to start a youth group indoors as well as soon as this COVID allows. So we're looking to do that as soon as possible.
Oh, fabulous.
There's so much going on over here. And the ordination is, it was going to be June, but it's going to be in September. And I've become a curate over here. So I just carry on working here, which is amazing.
Oh, wow. Because you're, the roots are there, but you want them to really establish and flourish now, don't you? So it's good to stay here. Everybody knows you, and
I think if I moved, it would just be such a shame, because we're just starting to make some progress, and it just wouldn't work. It would be too soon to move. Done what we set out to do yet. So
Oh, that's amazing. And for anyone out there, so one of our young people is your daughter, and how do you communicate and talk about God together at home? Do you encourage each other at home, and support each other on your faith journeys?
Yeah, I talk about my faith all the time, like just in a natural way, even with my son who's not a Christian, and just whoever's around, really. You know, it's not something that I keep in a box sort of over here sort of thing. So, you know, people at the supermarket ask me to pray for them. You know, it just, wherever I am, it's just not a separate part of my life. It's just the core, really. So even if we're looking for a car park space, I'll be saying, Leon, I need to pray a sec, hold on, or whatever it is. So that's a key part, and doing grace and stuff. And Iris and I, she's got her own schedule of how she reads the Bible every day. She does that on her own, but we talk about God a lot, and she helps me with things for Tea and Taste Church. She helps me with the music, and I discuss sermon ideas and things, and she's a great help.
Yeah, so you on this journey, guitar and sing worship music, and Iris has done the same. Do you really enjoy doing that?
I do, and I've enjoyed, like, some of the positives of lockdown have been that I've enjoyed doing the online church. I've enjoyed learning new skills about making videos, making song videos, and and just going further with that. So, you know, there are positives. And in terms of faith, Iris was a Christian before I was, so that was exciting. So she's been a Christian most of her life, and it came to me a lot later when I was 40. So, but yeah, she's always been a Christian, which is amazing.
Oh, it is. But it's just fantastic to do that journey with your children, isn't it? It's a wonderful thing. And all these new amazing skills that we've all learned. I mean, I'm sure a year ago, Andy would have laughed in my face with me doing anything online or even touching a computer.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and I just think how we've come, you know, we have come a long way. When I think to my first thing that I did online back last year, it was just like pre-recorded, and it was pretty ropey.
it is. It's amazing, and we now know we can be natural online, can't we? And you know, I can remember people saying, "Oh, I don't want to see myself," but actually, I would be sat in front of you if we were chatting in church. So, I think there's, for me, I've lost some anxieties, but also gained some amazing knowledge as well. Do you feel the same?
I do, and I think church is changing, and I'm quite excited to see how things change after lockdown. And I think it's good going in the building, but I think, you know, the whole landscape of churches is going to change, and I'm fascinated to see how that plays out and what my part might be in that. So.
Andy's just asking Fiona a quick question now, so she's going to answer it.
Basically, Andy's wanting to know what I think churches will look like when we come out the other side, and I'm thinking it might be a bit more like missional communities, maybe smaller, maybe not such big buildings, a little bit more rough and ready, not so much expense and equipment, not so many paid staff, maybe.
Wow, you, Andy and Fiona, need to be chatting. You're both on the same page, aren't you? We just a lot. Yeah. You know,
keep it very simple and just tell people about Jesus, really.
Yeah. And you get to have amazing conversations in small groups, don't you? We've had the same with our young people. You know, we're in a small group, and we've had some great, over the last couple of months, some great prayer evenings on a Sunday evening, and they're really seeing, you know, they're praying for things, and they're getting answers to these prayers, and it's an amazing encouragement for them. So do you see that a lot at Hayward Village with your rooted group? And
it's amazing, because we sit around and we have a meal, and we're just like family. I leave the front door unlocked. People come in, they start making cups of tea. Everyone's very relaxed. Obviously, we've missed this over the last year, but this is what it was like before. Everyone's washing up together or cooking together, bringing different parts of the meal. It's what I think of in early Acts, you know, in the Bible, of what it should be like. And you're just sitting around having community together.
Close
together. It reminds me of the disciples sitting around just chatting and learning and sharing life together. So I think it's really exciting.
Yeah, that close community which is building in Hayward Village. So you've got an amazing future on the horizon. It's so wonderful. Well, I am going to ask you a couple of questions.
Okay.
We've got some quick fire ones. I'll save them for a minute.
Okay.
but some little questions for you. A great one that Andy always likes to know if people's favourite superhero is. So when you were little, who was your favourite superhero?
Well, that's a good one. I'm thinking Wonder Woman, but I don't know about the outfit.
You can borrow it off Mims. Mims has got the outfit.
I don't think it would fit me. But yeah, I'd love to be like Wonder Woman, but what can you do? You have to work with what you've got, don't you?
Wow. No, I can see it now. I think you're going to have to borrow that outfit and model it. That's amazing. Okay, so what is the weirdest thing you've ever eaten?
I don't think anything too weird. I've had things like squid and snails and frog's legs, but nothing really weird.
Yeah, I did. Did you enjoy snails? I really loved them.
No, it made me feel really sick.
Did it?
Yeah.
I was so fortunate. I was living out in Cyprus at the time, and I had snail bolognese made for me. And it was just like eating bolognese. It was so lovely.
Oh, dear.
Okay, so right, here we are. What really annoys you?
What really annoys me is negative people. I cannot bear them.
Do you know, I didn't think anything would annoy you, Fiona.
I don't like it when people are negative. I just can't cope with it. Every cloud has its silver lining, and so if people are negative, I'm sympathetic, but I go and seek some positivity, or try and bring some positivity if I can.
Yeah.
I find that hard, but obviously it's hard for everyone at the moment, so there is, difficulties around, but yeah.
Definitely is hard. So something that we're going to be looking forward to over the next couple of months as we slowly move, hopefully out of, please God, out of lockdown. What is your favourite thing to do in the summer? I know where you like to go, but what do you like to do when you go there?
My best ever thing would be just sitting around with friends and family, around a fire pit with marshmallows and a glass of wine, with a sort of nice warm evening, and just chilling out, really. I think simple things.
Oh, it's amazing.
Just a bit of share and, just being outdoors.
Yeah,
and not having to rush or anything, having all the time in the world, because, we're quite busy, and I like to just not have a schedule and just be able to relax. That would be lovely.
Oh, yeah, that is amazing. You just can't beat it, can you? So another good question for you here. Some of these we haven't asked before. If someone made a movie of your life, would it be a drama, a comedy, a rom-com, an action film? I'm thinking Wonder Woman, maybe, or a science fiction film.
I know exactly what it would be. It'd be a comedy, and it'd probably have Miranda in it. I do the most ridiculous things. So many things happen to me, honestly. Iris will tell you, but just things happen to me, amusing things. It would be probably like a sort of comedy, I think.
So you feel a bit of a rapport with Miranda?
Definitely.
I love
to play that well, because I just think, I just love Miranda, yeah.
Oh, well, I'll do one of these and then we'll go on to our quick fire ones.
Okay.
If you could be anybody apart from yourself, who would it be? It's a tough one. I had to end with a tough one on these before the quick fire.
I'm quite happy being myself, but I'm just trying to think. Probably somebody from the Bible, just to try and get my head around what it was like. Maybe Paul in the Bible, or Lydia in the Bible.
Yeah.
He was big on hospitality and everything. I'd be quite interested to sort of see how that played out, what that was like. Or somebody in the early church, just to see what it was like, really, and try and understand it a bit more. I'd be fascinated.
Yeah, to be there in that moment when they were going through it. Yeah, such a good answer. So, right, I've now got 10 quick fire questions for you. Okay?
Yeah.
Number 1, what is your favourite word?
Positive.
Good. Number 2, what is your least favourite word?
negative or something like that, you know.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? That it's great to be really positive, and that hopefully can counteract the negative, can't it? Just snub it out, and yeah. Oh, it's good. Because I see you being positive all the time, so that's wonderful. What motivates you?
I think now that I've been called to tell people about Jesus, that is what motivates me. So I get frustrated. I know it's your quickfire round, sorry, but
That's okay.
So basically, I don't want to waste my time doing other stuff. I just want to do what I've been called to do. So sometimes I can be a bit too focused, you know, a bit too direct. But that is because I feel like I need to get on with what I've been called to do.
Yeah. So you suddenly like, I need to be doing that. So you like that, focused on it.
Yeah, and I don't want to be distracted by all these other things because there's so many things I could be doing. I need just to tell people about Jesus.
Oh, I'm very good at being distracted. Definitely. I'm getting told off now because I've been distracted. Okay, right. Let's see if I can try and do this quicker. What demotivates you?
Being over busy, I think.
Yeah, definitely. What sound or noise do you love?
Oh, bird song.
Oh, we were talking about that this morning.
I love birds. I love it.
Yeah. And what sound or noise do you hate?
Oh, I hate it when you hear like horns going, boo, 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 you know, big traffic jams and loads of horns and people shouting and swearing. And
because it's negative, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's yeah. What is your comfort food, Fiona? Come on, give it away.
I suppose chips and chocolate.
Chips and chocolate.
Preferably both at the same time. Yeah.
Chips and chocolate. Do you melt the chocolate on the chips or
no,
dip?
I just eat it together.
Just eat it.
And perhaps a glass of wine to go down with it.
Okay, I can. Yeah. Okay. No. I don't think I will manage that. What is your hobby?
I like reading because that's something where you can just get away from everything. I like going outside, you know, things like nice walks outside, camping, all the outdoor sorts of things. I think that's my main thing, is just being out in nature.
Excellent.
Things, I think.
I do like that. What job would you like to have?
Oh,
I love this question because most of us are in a job we love.
I love my job, but I'd like to be a TV presenter on a sort of program that I could talk about God, but it wasn't just for Christians, because otherwise that would just be a waste of time, because obviously I need to tell people about Jesus.
Yeah.
So, yeah, TV presenter.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah. And finally, the big question that we ask everyone. What would you like to hear God say when you arrive in heaven?
Oh, there's only 2 words I'd like him to say, which is well done.
Yeah.
I think that would be quite amazing. But even if he said, oh, you tried your best, that would be good.
Yeah. Again, something positive. And because you're doing something you love so much, I think that's going to be easily achievable, Fiona.
I hope so, but, you know,
yeah. Oh, it's just so wonderful chatting to you, and even though I work alongside you, I'm getting to know you more, and I hope everyone else has really enjoyed listening to Fiona's journey and our funny questions at the end. It means we get to know you more, and one day soon, hopefully, we can all go and sit in Hayward Village Square and eat chips and chocolate together.
That would be so good, wouldn't it? With a glass of wine.
Yeah. And a glass of wine. Yeah, that would be wonderful. But anyway, so we've got in 2 weeks' time, have we got a quiz, Andy? We've got a Star Trek quiz on the 14th of March. As you can see, I'm not always up together with the quizzes. It's okay when I know what they're about, but when I don't know anything about Star Trek, so I don't even know it's happening. But yes, so we've got a quiz on the 14th of March, and then at the end of the month we'll have another interview.
And that'll be Mother's Day, the quiz. That'll be good.
Oh yeah, Star Trek doesn't go very well with Mother's Day.
Oh, we love it in our house. We love Mother's Day. We love direct.
Yeah. Well, I know, Fiona, your whole household you do the quiz together, don't you?
It's absolutely hysterical. Chris is absolutely brilliant. We're usually crying with laughter.
He is. He's absolutely wonderful. So
it's a lot of fun. We just have
he's
a great
very
evening.
cheeky.
Quite sociable.
Yeah. Oh, well, Fiona, thank you so much for agreeing to be interviewed tonight. And we really appreciate your time. And we look forward to chatting with you when we do the quiz in a couple of weeks' time. See how you get on.
All right. Well, thanks so much. Lovely talking to you.
That's all right, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Good night. Bye.